Good morning, class, and today we are going to do a lesson on adding integers. We're going to do a different approach today where we're going to use colored counters to help us to model the addends. So if you recall, an addend is a number that you add with another number. So we use the yellow counters to represent a positive one and the red counters to represent a negative one. So let's look at an example. Let's say we had, in this very first example here, we have 6 yellow counters and 1 red counter. So 6 yellow counters would represent positive 6. The 1 red counter would represent negative 1. So we want to see if this actually has a value of positive 5. When we have 1 yellow counter and 1 red counter together, that creates what's called a zero pair. They sum to 0. So we could rewrite this as negative 1 plus 1 would be 0. That's called a zero pair. So in this case, if we get rid of our zero pair, what we have left is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 yellow counter, which represents positive 5. Now, if we wanted to create a number sentence for this, it would be positive 6 plus negative 1 equals positive 5. Let's look at this example 2. Here. Counting the number of yellow counters would give us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That represents positive 10. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red, which represents negative 5. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of our zero pairs. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So these all sum to 0. What we have left is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if we had a number sentence that we could write for this, it would be positive 10 plus negative 5, or we could write that as just negative 5 plus 10 would equal positive 5. I'm going to jump down to this last example here, and I want you guys to think about this for a second. The combination of yellow and red counters in example 4, the example we're looking at here, does it sum to positive 5? That's the question. This combination of yellow and red counters, does it sum to positive 5? And if so, and if not, could you write a number sentence that properly illustrates the addend or the sum that you would end up with? The addends and the sum that you would end up with. So, a few seconds to think about that. Thank you for your response. So let's see. We have positive 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 positive counters, 6 yellow counters, and we have 3 reds. 1, 2, 3. We create our zero pairs. 1, 2, 3. We end up with positive 3. So the number sentence here that we could write to represent the addends and the sum would be negative 3 plus 6, which would equal positive 3. Next time, when we get to continue this lesson, we'll look at a series of problems where we have the sum being negative and what happens when the sum is negative. But as you reflect on today's lesson, the question is, can you create a combination of yellow and red counters that will have a sum of positive 5. So to extend on this lesson, what is a combination of counters that you could come up with, yellow and red counters, that would have a sum of positive 5? And certainly, John, I want to thank you for sharing your solution to this. Yes, we could have, we had 4 red and 9 yellow counters. That would give us a sum of positive 5. We could write it as negative 4 plus 9 equals positive 5. Well, thank you, class, for today's lesson, and we will continue to work on this in our next class. Have a great rest of your day.